everybody, today we will learn English again. The first we will come out from the proverb. Today a reader, tomorrow is a leader. It means that reading is important to give you much knowledge, and that knowledge will bring you to be a leader, because a good leader should have a better knowledge. Okay? Keep reading. Well, today we will study about the use of must and mustn't. Do you know that? Well, let's see together. Must is most commonly used to express certainty. It can also be used to express necessity or strong internal obligation. What is meant by internal obligation? Means that the obligations come from the speaker itself. So the intention is from the speaker intentions. So there is no external factor that pushes the speaker to do something. For an example, you must study hard. Why you study hard? It is because of your spirit, not because of something else, but the important factor is from your own spirit, because it comes from your own internal factor, so you use must. Is it clear? Well, we will see another examples later. And must can be also used to express certainty. For example, this must be right answer. So why you use must? Because you are sure, there is no doubt that your answer is wrong, because you are sure that your answer is correct, because you know the reasons, because you know the theory, and it is fit on that theory. So you are certain. All right? Must not, or we can say mustn't as the abbreviation. We can use it to prohibit action. For example, you mustn't kick the ball when you play basketball. So mustn't mean prohibits someone of doing something. Okay? So that is mustn't. Another example. He must do his homework. Why we use must? Because he intends to do his homework because of his spirit. Okay? Because he is a good student. So the intention comes from he himself. So you use must. I must be disciplined. So the police want to be disciplined, and his willingness comes from his self, comes from the police itself. So that is an internal intention. I mustn't sleep in a class. So after seeing his own photograph, she wants that he will not sleep again in a class. So the spirit comes from himself. I mustn't be lazy. This is again internal intention or obligation. Internal obligations come from the person itself. Alright, let's have a practice on the use of must or mustn't. It is raining outside. Tim didn't take his umbrella. Must or mustn't? Yes, must. Because if you or if Tim doesn't take his umbrella, he will get wet. You didn't return it. It is fit on you. The answer is correct. Mustn't. So you can say you mustn't return it. It is fit on you. Why? Because it is fit. So you don't need to return it to the shop. Mrs. Parks can't see very well. She didn't wear glasses. Must or mustn't? Yep, the answer is mustn't. So you can say she mustn't wear. Oh, sorry, the answer is must. She must wear glasses. Okay, the intention of wearing glasses is coming from her intention. Okay, that's about must and mustn't. Let's talk about have to or don't have to, right? Have to almost the same with must, but there is some differences. We use have to express external obligation. Remember, must used to express internal obligation because the obligation come out from the person itself. But we use have to because the obligation comes from external factor or the environment. Okay? Example. The man have to go to his office every weekdays. Why we use have to? Because there is no option. The man have to go to work because the place of the man or the office of the man obliged the man to do that. If not, the man will not get any salary or any money from his job. Okay, so it is external factor because of his office, because of his job. The boys has to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Why? So the factor comes from external because the school will start at 7 or will start at 8. So the boy has to get prepared before that. Okay? So in an affirmative statement, you can have the rule like this. Subject have to or has to and plus verb and then complement. If the subject is I, if the subject are you, we, or they, okay, we will use have to. But if the subject is she, he, or it, we will use has to. Remember, has to is used for the subject she, he, it. Alright? Don't have to. We use don't have to express absence of obligation when something is not necessary to do. The children don't have to go to school today. It's Sunday. She has to pay some money for the doctor. Look at those sentences. The children don't have to go to school today. We have to because it is Sunday and the class or the school is off. And she has to pay some money for the doctor. Why we use has to? Because if she doesn't pay for that, she will get punishment or protest. Okay, so that is an obligation because of the factor of the doctor and the system. Negative statement. Subject don't have to, or subject doesn't have to, plus verb and complement. We use don't if the subject I, you, we, they. We don't have to get up early on Sunday. We will use doesn't if the subject she, he, it. So once again, if the subject she, he, it, we will use does. If it is negative, we will put not after does. So doesn't. He doesn't have to get up early on Sunday. Okay, why will we use doesn't? Because the subject he. Okay. Let's practice. Okay, complete the context using don't have to or doesn't have to. Sarah studied study hard for the exam. Don't have to or doesn't have to? Good. Sarah has to study hard for the exam. Why we use has? Once again, because Sarah refers to she, okay? Number 2. David didn't submit his work on time. What is the correct answer? Good. Has to. Why? David refers to he, okay? David refers to he. Good. I didn't stay until the road unblocked. What is your answer? Have to, right. I have to stay until the road unblocked. Okay, so this answer is have to, because it is an obligation of the external factor. The factor is the road is blocked now, so I have to stay. Anders didn't obey the school rules. The answer? That's correct. Has to. Andres has to obey the school rules. Why we use has to? Because the school rule is external factor. Okay, the rules can force you to do something, so that is something external. You didn't get your passport too before going abroad. Good, have to. You have to get your passport before going abroad. Okay, so why we use have to, not must? Because the passport or the rule of having passport to go abroad is international rule. It can force you to get it. If not, you get a punishment. Alright? So some external factor that push you to do something, you have to use have to. Once again, must is for an obligation or internal obligation. It comes from you, your own self. But have to is external obligation. Okay? The motivation comes from external. It could be from your environment. It could be from the rules of the environment. Okay, thank you.